Hello and welcome to my video about my second ever Zwift race. So in my first Zwift race I came second to last basically. I didn't really know what was going to happen and it was pretty intense and I didn't record any of it, so no point making a video about it. Okay, so this is about my second Zwift race. I was a bit more prepared and let's jump straight in and see how it went. So here we are at the beginning of the race. Zwift races always tend to start really fast. So you can see here I'm pushing 400 watts, which is about 4 watts per kilogram. I'm in D category, which is the lowest one because I'm just a beginner. And as you can see here, if you look on the right hand side, this is where everyone's positions are. So the C class riders will start to overtake all the D class riders. So here we are 2 minutes into the race and it's settling down a bit. I'm pushing out 228 watts. Me and this guy here, Jean-Michel, are sticking together, and me and him have a bit of a duel for most of the race. So he's a category C rider, so to be honest I wasn't expecting to be able to keep up with him for that long, so let's see how long I can stick with him. Here we are 5 minutes in, me and Jean-Michel are still together. We've been back and forthing now for about the whole race. It's only 5 minutes in and it's a 29-kilometer race, which is longer than my previous one, but still it's not too long. It should take about an hour. And as you can see, I'm going up the hill here, pushing out 300 watts. So when you start racing in Zwift, you always need to prepare your stuff. One thing, you need a towel, you need your water, your food, and another thing you need to do is make sure you're not going to get any pop-ups during the race like I did. So yeah, this was very annoying. I couldn't see what was happening, and at some point I stopped for like 2 seconds just to click and get rid of this. And another thing you need to prepare is a towel, which I didn't do. And as you can see, my bike is in my laundry room. So fortunately, there were some undies there I could use as a makeshift towel. Here we are, 7.5 kilometers in, and we're going up a pretty big hill here. So I don't know much about cycling, but I was reading that the best time to attack is when you're going up a hill, because comparatively you'll save more time than if you attack on a straight or something to that effect. So here we are both pushing pretty hard, me and Jean-Michel. He's trying to get away here to try and break the toe, the draft, and I'm having to really put some effort in to get this back. 500 watts up this hill, 10% gradient. This was pretty hard. And you can see my heart rate is 178. I think it might break 180 at some point, but yeah, he's just trying to break me down because he knows he can probably last longer because he's category C and I'm a category D. Yeah, so I managed to keep with him on this hill and we'll see how much longer I can stick with him. 9.4 kilometers in now. So this bit is quite fun because this is the beginning of the downhill. This is when I should have an advantage, being a heavier rider at about 100 kilograms. Going downhill fast for me should be much easier than it is for him. So I think, if I remember correctly, I sprinted at the beginning of the hill to try and get as much power as I could. As you can see, the gradient just starts to dip here. So here is when I start to attack. This is my sprint down the hill. So I put about 500 watts in just for a few seconds, just to get the speed up. And then if you stop pedaling on Zwift, you go into what is called a super tuck, where your guy goes all aerodynamic and you don't have to pedal, you can have a nice rest here, which I was very much enjoying. As you can see, the speed is quite fast, 60 kilometers an hour. This does as fast as it goes for the whole race. The gradient is 7%. Okay, so here we are, bottom of the hill. There's a slight incline of 2%. And actually this is where our friend Jean-Michel pushes a bit and I simply can't keep up. So he ups his watts per kilogram to about 3 and I'm stuck on 2.4. I just have nothing left to give at this point. He's obviously a much better rider than me. I stuck with him for 12 kilometers and yeah, we can fast forward it and we'll see that he just goes off into the distance and there's no way I can keep up. 15-kilometer mark, this is the halfway point of the race and it's pretty boring here for me now. I'm 11 seconds behind the person in front and 1 minute 20 ahead of the person behind. So I'm in sort of no man's land here, not really much to do, just keep going, make sure I don't give up too much time. I'm too far behind to catch up with the C guy and a long way ahead of D, so yeah, not great. 21.5 kilometers in, I'm a minute ahead of the person behind me, but at this point he starts an attack, so I need to respond. 22 kilometers in now, and he's gained half a minute on me, so at this point I'm just pushing as hard as I can to keep ahead, so I just hope he's going to run out of energy as well. 23 kilometers in, D. Fenton, the guy behind me, is now 40 seconds behind, so he's tried to attack and has run out of energy, and I'm just keeping steady here. Not really much to do till the end, just keep it together for the final 6 kilometers. So here we are at 26.7 kilometers. This is the part of the race where there is actually a sprint. So it's 300 meters. I absolutely give it everything here because there's nothing else to worry about. I'm a long way ahead of the person behind me and a long way behind the person in front of me. So I give it about 500 watts for however long it lasts. And I think I do actually do quite well in this sprint. Let's see, I've got 100 meters to go here, as you can see on the right. And my heart rate is ridiculous, 182. And let's see where I place. And I actually won the sprint in my category, which was very good. I was very happy with that because I'm not very good at endurance racing, but apparently I'm quite good at sprinting, which does make sense because if you're a heavier rider, you tend to have more raw power. Here I am, just crossing the line. Very happy with that. No complaints, to be honest. It absolutely took out of me. It was a very difficult race. And yeah, I came 4th out of the category D riders and increased my FTP by a lot. As you can see here, I went from 184 to 245, which is a ridiculous increase. So I think most of it's just mental. I'm just showing that I can push myself that hard. Sometimes you need a race situation to do that. Okay, thanks for watching. That was my second ever Zwift race. Hopefully I will continue to improve, and I will see you in the next video.